Yo, what is up, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Nonsense Nap, here with, again, the truck slash car chronicles. That means we out here doing the stream, video, podcast, whatever have you, via truck and or car. And yeah, back again, this time around here to bring you a One Piece review. Not manga chapter, oh no, but of anime episodes 1 through 5. Yes, your boy about to review the anime all over. Okay, not as a One Piece watcher for the first time, obviously, but gonna be doing it in regards to pretty much knowing the story now. So with having an understanding of what the story is to this day, and essentially viewing the story as such. So to give you an idea of what I mean, we see here with episode 1, we get to see Nami initially on a cruise ship, if you will. And then we get to see a pirate ship come up out the blue, and that's Alvida's ship. Now we already know Alvida changes, excuse me, before I get into this, spoiler, huge spoiler, telling the story, all of the story throughout these videos. So if you ain't watched a lick of One Piece, I advise you to not watch this video until you have at least watched the first 5 episodes of One Piece as far as coverage on that. But I wouldn't recommend watching this video unless you have caught up in the series. So if you haven't, I'm sorry, but if you have, great, and I will continue. So again, we got with the first episode, essentially Nami showing up. We'll also get to see Koby on Alvida's ship. We know both Alvida and Koby essentially advanced in the series. What I mean by advanced is changed their look. So it's just kind of ironic that both of them, being via the same pirate ship before, both changed the way they look and appear to other people throughout the series. It's not like a devil fruit power for both of them, but for one of them it is. So I'll keep that under wraps for now. I still want to keep some things, low key, but pretty much with this review, I'm kind of trying to point out some things that we saw early on in the series with just like not knowing, and then just being aware of those things now. So with that first episode, not too much happened. Not too much was going on. Get to see Alvida. She gets wrecked by Luffy. Nothing really changed there as far as outlook in the series later on. That's just what it is. Second episode, a little bit more of that. Getting to meet Morgans. Now, we found out via SBS, along with the fact of, I think that's just what it was, SBS Oda answering questions, that your man Klahadore was the pirate that broke Morgan's jaw, also back in the Syrup Village arc. You'll get to see that damn, drawing a blank. What do you call it when you go back? You'll get to see that clip previously, as far as like with Klahadore breaking Morgan's jaw, because he was the only one to survive his attack. Which says a lot about Morgan's at that particular time, that he was able to take on an attack of that degree. But he was also hypnotized under Django's I guess ability is not a devil fruit, but just ability in general as well too. So he essentially felt like he was the greatest ever because he caught Captain Kuro. So that's a little bit of a spoiler as far as for the next arc going forward. But this gentleman essentially, mentally was just off his rock. Pretty much Morgans wanted to just, be the centerfold of everything, having his people build a statue for him, having this town, fear of the Navy, and that's not what the Navy is there for. Police, if you listening and watching it, that's not what y'all there for. Y'all there to help, not to, feel like people should surrender by your will just for entering in the door. So a little wild. But yeah, you get that in the series. In this particular episode here, we get to see how Luffy saved Zoro, because Zoro punched Helmeppo, who was Morgan's son. And pretty much, it was just the dynamic of how that particular village was because of the Navy being there. So Kobe essentially going along with Luffy to this particular village to essentially free Zoro, see if the Pirate Hunter Zoro was there after beating out Vita. And they get there, they see what's up, and pretty much they defeat Morgans by saving Zoro, along with the fact of us being able to see Luffy showcase his Devil Fruit ability, and Zoro use his abilities as far as being a swordsman. So you get to see like the value of both of these two people here early on in the story, and I don't mind it, so that's still kind of consistent there as far as it again, like in the series. You got these two essentially in Wano right now currently, pretty much tag teaming, going up against guys. So it's kind of dope to see that. But in the third episode, we get to see Nami represent herself again in the series, essentially getting the one-up on the Buggy Pirates, some few gentlemen from there, and making their way to a particular town. Luffy and Zoro are hungry. Luffy tries to attack a bird, gets caught by the bird, and essentially the bird gets shot down over the same town that Nami arrives at, where the Buggy Pirates are staying. Zoro, this just shows how fate works with the Straw Hats, arrives at the same town because he picks up some Buggy Pirates, the same ones that Nami essentially got over on previously. Essentially, she stole their ship and treasure, made it to that particular island because she's a great navigator. Luffy just got carried that direction, and Zoro essentially got guided that way by the other three Buggy Pirates. So just seeing that is kind of dope. But before we get to that particular island, we did have a flashback. Dang, I couldn't think of it earlier. Flashback as far as how Luffy got his hat. Now, there's one thing with this hat that I will say, Shanks pretty much stated, he said he would risk everything on this hat. He wouldn't even give, Luffy this hat or anything else like that, but he still winds up giving it to him. And my thing is, why would he wind up giving Luffy this hat? Why does he feel like it's so secure with Luffy if it means that much to him? So it just kind of, perplexing, especially when we know that there's a hat later on in the series that's not explained and just being presented in Marijoa. So it could be the secret. We don't know, but that's the only time, this is really like the only time the hat is like really, really, truly emphasized by another character besides everyone just calling Luffy Straw Hat. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it as well too. But, the promise that is made is that he can't return the hat until he's, pretty much, not self-proclaimed, but been like highlighted as an elite pirate. So I'm kind of excited, obviously, with seeing the hat in Reverie, to know if, this is the same, this could be the hat that Shanks need back to replace. Who's to say that the quote-unquote treasure that's there, or that particular hat in the cell is a fraud and a fake, and the real one is the one that Shanks has. You know, so you never know. But I will say this. Luffy essentially, you know, cries out to Shanks in this flashback because Shanks loses his arm with fighting off a what do you call that? Not a fish man, but a sea king. And you know, he does a good job, you know, pretty much uses hockey to get him away. So before I continue on to that, let me back up a little bit. So the initial moment of time when Shanks got introduced in the story, it was via these mountain bandits that came in through the door to the bar. Now, we know Shanks at this moment in time, he's got 3 lines on his face, so that means he ran into Blackbeard. And at this moment in time, we also know that he's a Yonko. He's a Yonko. Okay? So, Blackbeard marked this man as a Yonko. Kind of easy to see why Blackbeard would be a Yonko later on in the series. But nonetheless, he's a Yonko. So, we now have Yonko Shanks going up against a brother with an 8 million berry bounty. Really? the drastic difference between the two is remarkable to notice now. So this is another reason why Shanks was just so nonchalant. Like, my brother, you just got an 8 million berry bounty. You're not here for nothing, my guy. We not worried. About you? No. We're good. But one thing that I do want to see, if anybody picked up on, is that I think we saw a bit of Shanks' power early on. And by that I mean, when the mayor and what's her name, Makino, were looking for Luffy, they found him in like the middle of town, being harassed by the mountain bandits. Shanks said, I wondered why the bar was closed at this time of day, and arrived not shortly after Makino does. Makino had to run to where Luffy was at. Get the mayor and then run to where Luffy was at. It's very plausible that where the bar was at, she had to go backtrack, and then, you know, get the mayor and then come back to where Luffy was at. Plausible. So this is why it only took Shanks them a short amount of time, or Shank did some type of time manipulation. Now, currently, again, where we are in the story, and I apologize for jumping around, but this is just like where my thought process is going with the first five episodes. In episode 1 or 2, I believe as well, Luffy was also presented by a whirlpool before, which is essentially got him stuck in that barrel as well. So there's a whirlpool at Wano. I feel like Wano is going to have a lot of connection to his home, which means, my personal opinion, Shanks shows up along with other characters from the East Blue, and also a protagonist, or not protagonist, excuse me, a person in this story that is going to be huge for the Wano arc. Not just Otama, but I feel like there's going to be another person as well that's going to take place. And I feel like that's going to be mentioned back here in these older episodes, only because it's too many coincidences that's kind of like bringing certain things about. So, you know, as we fast forward, from the position and point that from that point for the whirlpool back to where Shanks is at in the middle of town, pretty much stating that, you know, can't believe the bar is closed at this point time of day, you know. So he's kind of shocked by that, but also pretty much lets the guy know that, hey, look, we ain't here for none of that, just let the kid go. They don't want to let him go. They feel like they're big and bad because he has $8 million value. Not aware that Shanks is already a Yonko. I feel like that's a little wild because the news schools, essentially they should be providing this information. But let's just say they ain't get the newspaper today, or haven't gotten it in a while, so they don't know the update on the Yonkos. Fair enough. So Shanks, you know, walks up, has a gun pointed to his head, and now you can kind of understand, coming from being at Big Mom's place, understanding, you know, and Wano as far as like how Kaido's crew is as well, why these Yonkos don't play around. You put a gun to a Yonko's head. Make sure you understand that this ain't a toy. When you bring a gun, you got to make sure you're ready to use it. And that's why Lucky Root pulled up, because he can't give him the chance to take out his captain. Regardless of, I felt like Shanks was already capable enough of doing things by himself. But nonetheless, he still pulled up and let him know, like, nah, bro, that's not happening. So, if I'm under the impression that Shanks, again, being a Yonko, Lucky Root being more like the enforcer, the warrior of the crew, that means he gotta do some damage off barrel. You know, he gotta let him know, like, look, bro, we ain't come here for this. You know, you trying to mess with our boy Luffy. I'm gonna let you know, like, hey, this is the difference between you and I, you and our crew. You know, and we see that. Even then, Ben Beckman runs up, knocks everybody out by himself. So, hey, man, if you want to come with us, make sure you bring like a battleship next time, or a big ass weapon. So that pretty much lets you know that, hey, these guys ain't nothing to mess with, and the only way that's gonna take them out is like a battleship with a big ass weapon. Blueprints to what Frankie has. Come on, man. It's like we got everything we needed in this first chapter. Just saying. It's crazy. I'm not chapter. First few episodes. Just crazy. So, after that happens, the bandit still captures Luffy, takes him out to sea, throws him in the water. Luffy can't swim. Obviously, at this point in time, Sea King eats the bandit. Shanks saves Luffy in time, but in doing so, losing an arm. So, and thus entrust the Straw Hat to Monkey D. Luffy. Now, advancing from that, we get to go back to where Luffy and Zoro are presently heading towards, again, trying to find some food. Essentially, at this particular point in time, they get separated, wind up at this particular island where the Buggy Pirates are located, and we get to see Buggy. Buggy's another devil fruit user. Buggy has the Chop fruit. Buggy currently right now is a Shichibukai in the story, where we are in this particular point in the manga. He's a Shichibukai. He's a warlord in the manga. He's a regular pirate right now in the first 5 episodes in the anime. So, a warlord is a pirate that essentially supersedes other pirates because it answers to the government. Essentially, they don't have a reoccurring bounty, meaning their bounty doesn't go up. It's frozen, and they kind of do the government's bidding, if you will. And that's pretty much it, you know. But since they can't be touched for the most part by the government, and regardless in regards to certain things. And we'll see that later on in the series when we get to Crocodile and Doflamingo and probably others as well. Or Moria being another one. You know, we see currently right now, Buggy the Clown is essentially just a regular pirate, about to start his life going into the Grand Line and pretty much trying to take over. We also know Buggy used to be on Roger's pirate crew, and he is a crewmate to Shanks. So, was at least a crewmate to Shanks on the Roger's pirate. Now, it's crazy that we get to see two people from the Roger's Pirates early on in the story. So, it's just kind of dope that we get to see that. Again, early on in the story, we seeing Buggy and Shanks. And, you know, getting the inclination of these two crews and how put together they are. So Buggy's kind of like a one-man show type. Shanks kind of like a spread the wealth around. I need guys that can do things that I can't do, you know. And that's kind of how Luffy's crew is. But one could assume like be kind of like paralleling these stories. If Luffy was to be on a pirate crew, one of the successful like riders, he would be like Shanks. Potentially Kid, maybe like Buggy. So we haven't really found somebody that parallels that in regards, but that could be coming later on in the story. Who knows? Because a lot of people parallel Luffy to be like Roger as opposed to like Shanks, anything else. So, excuse me. So, in these first 5 episodes, we get to see a Buggy Ball, a device that can lay waste to a city from a cannon. But it also has like some added features to it being in the ball.
In 1.5 miles.
And
to the right on I-90.
We also, again, get to see his Chop Devil Fruit, which is pretty intriguing. Can't be cut down by any sword. And it goes up against the swordsman, obviously Zoro, who can't do anything against him. So, in this particular episode, Zoro's essentially been beaten. First loss of the series. Well, second, if you want to say him getting captured by El Beppo. But technically, the first loss of the series Zoro faced was against Buggy the Clown. A lot of people may not agree with this. Personally, I don't care. But that's what it was. So, you know, he still fought through it like a G. Not gonna knock that. But that's his first loss of the series. Luffy also being captured due to the hands of Nami. Essentially, she stole a map of the Grand Line from Buggy. Buggy wants it back, sent his people out to get it. Couldn't get it because Luffy came in, followed from the bird, knocked his people out, beat him. Nami captures Luffy by essentially duping him into believing that she'll essentially be on his crew, but just needs him to do something for her first. So, of course, Luffy says yes, but obviously Nami has a different agenda about herself. So, that's where we at right now. I don't really see anything else going on in the series currently at the moment. There is one thing that I'm gonna mention in the next few episodes. It got to do with this island and the Rocks Pirates, but that's about it. So be on the lookout for episodes 5 through 10. Again, this is a review of manga episodes 1 through 5, and essentially from a point of view of where we are currently in the story. So having knowledge of
To the right on I-90
these
West.
characters already, what they're capable of doing, and where they were at chronologically in the story at this moment in time. So again, having the perception of knowing that Shanks was already a Yonko changes this drastically, because the first time I watched this, I'm like, hey man, this dude about to get done in by these mountain bandits. This mountain bandit seemed like a real hard guy. Nothing, completely nothing. You know, obviously we're watching it through. I realized he wasn't nothing. But to know that Shanks was a Yonko and to see what that actually means to be a Yonko, but watching the whole cake arc and currently right now being in the reading the whole cake arc and currently right now being in the Wano arc, it definitely shows a testament to a lot of what that status says. And to see that, you know, he kind of got one up at the moment in time. And the reason why Lucky Root took his guy out, even then, Ben Beckman
For 16 miles.
pretty much states like, what a guy. Because he was like, oh, I can't believe I'll let him take Luffy, you know, after Lucky Root shoots the guy. Since the mountain bandit escapes with Luffy out to sea again. And it's just to hear Ben Beckman say like, what a guy. You're a Yonko. Being concerned about an 8-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid, however old Luffy was, because he got captured by a mountain bandit. And it's like, you could have laid waste to this dude already. But to show self-restraint and control, not even throw around your status as a Yonko or anything like that, that shows a lot of respect. You know, for Shanks to do that, it just presents him to be one that needs to be respected. You know, and that's what I took from it at this particular point in time. Because to know that he already fought Blackbeard, which is why he got those scars, and even after that, you're still like, you're not really in pursuit of him. You still just like, look man, you know, I'm here, I'm gonna do my thing. Yeah, I'm a Yonko, but you know, I'm still Shanks, you know. And to know that that hat may have something to do with the Gorosei, the treasure of Mary Joa, Sama, and all that is just crazy, you know. So Romance Dawn, first 5 episodes come to a conclusion. Let me know what y'all think down below. If I missed anything as far as making a point, as far as like what's going on later in the series now that could be seen in these first few episodes. Let me know if I missed anything in these first few episodes that you guys would like to see happen later on in the series, as far as like, you know, foreshadowing and anything else like that. But yeah, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If there's areas of improvement, always let me know down below. But while doing that, always remember that this is the channel is going to bring you content, whether it be a truth or lie. Show me discernment to know if it's fact, but it's always fact because it's coming from Nonsense Nat. You feel me? Everybody be safe out there. Peace!